Good day each and everyone, I am Shalame Al Roble, and for today's video, I would like to share my favorite architects I've known for. The first architect that I would like to share is Richard Rogers. Richard Rogers was born on July 23, 1933 in Florence, Italy. In 1954, he enrolled at the Architectural Association in London, graduating in 1959. And later, in 1961, he joined the Yale University, finishing postgraduate studies in 1962. While growing up, several members of Richard Rogers' family were architects. Richard Rogers returned to London, collaborated with his wives Sue Bromwell and another couple, Wendy Chismant and Norman Foster, and established a firm in 1963 named the Team 4. In 1970, he began practicing with Renzo Piano, and they worked together on the designs of the landmark Pompeii's Century. The steel structure, skeletal exterior clad with tube-encased elevators and bright ductwork were Rogers' contributions, inspired by his high-tech designs approach. He gained global acclaim for his remarkable Lloyd's of London skyscraper, a brightly polished mechanistic tower with a rectangular core surrounded by towers containing restrooms, elevators bordering around a central atrium. In 1995, he was the first architect invited to give the prestigious BBC Rit lectures on a series of radio talks that were later published as Cities for a Small Planet in 1997. In 1996, he was named the Lord Rogers of Riverside. In addition to designing buildings all over the world, Rogers has written books including Cities for a Small Planet. Throughout his career, Richard Rogers has been the recipient of numerous awards such as the RIBA Gold Medal in 1985, the Thomas Jefferson Memorial Foundation Medal in 1999, the Arnold Brunner Memorial Prize from the American Academy and Institute of Arts and Letters in 1989, Japan Art Association's Premier Imperial Prize for Architecture in 2000, and the Pritzker Architecture Prize in 2007. And now, let me introduce the internal elevator of Richard Rogers with his 10 base buildings. First, Maggie's Century, Charing Cross Hospital in London. Second, Lloyd's Building in London. Third, Pompeii's Century in Paris. Fourth, Leadenhall Building in the City of London. 5. Inmost Microprocessor Factory, Newport. 6. Millennium Dome in London. 7. Terminal 4 Barajas Airport, Madrid. 8. Parkside, Wimbledon. 9. Mooseboard Community Academy, Hackney. 10. The Synod, formerly the National Assembly for Wales, Cardiff. And that's all for Richard Rogers. And now, let's move to the second architect. Pablo Severo Antonio was born on January 25, 1901 in Binondo, Manila. He was orphaned by the age of 12 and had to work in the daytime in order to finish his high school education and work at night. He studied architecture at the Mapua Institute of Technology but dropped out of school. Ramon Arevalo, the engineer in charge of the Legislative Building Project, funded Antonio's education at the University of London. He completed a 5-year architecture course and 3 years, graduating in 1927. In 1932, Antonio was registered Philippine Architect number 36 after passing the licensure examination. The following year, in 1933, Antonio completed his major work, the Ideal Theater, which stood at Rizal Avenue of the Santa Cruz District in Manila. This started his lifelong portfolio in designing cinemas for the public at a golden era of film. In 1949, he built his family home in Zamora Street, Pasay, which subsequently became the model for the Manila Polo Club and the residence of Mr. and Miss Jack Manny. The first house in Forbes Park, Makati in the same year. In 1952, he was named Architect of the Year by the Philippines Institution of Architects. He also the recipient of the first National Award of Merit for Architecture and 8-year award from 1946 to 1954 granted by the Philippine government. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening.